Well, we've had warnings about this particular relic, doll, however you want to put it. Two people in the name of Ed, husband and wife, Ed and Lorraine Warren, warned, do not move this doll from its position. Do not take it anywhere. Leave it where it's at. Because there's some sort, whether you believe it or not, an evil inside of it. Now, if you're not familiar with those names, the Warrens, if you have seen the movie Annabelle, you know about the Annabelle haunted doll. Now, the Annabelle haunted doll is based on an actual doll that is in the, which is now a museum, the Warrens Museum. And basically, it is there up, you can go visit it if you dare. But lately, since the passing of the husband and wife, the doll itself has been taking a bit of a tour. Now, back a bit, when it was in Louisiana, there were two events that happened. An old plantation home, a historical plantation house, burnt to the ground. Meanwhile, a prison break happened when 10 prisoners had basically escaped from a Louisiana prison. Now, does this correspond to the Annabelle doll being in that state on tour at that time? A far stretch if whether you believe it or not. But let me tell you this. Someone involved with the tour has mysteriously passed away. Yes, has the Annabelle doll now finally taken a life? But before we delve into the paranormal and to the bizarre, I want to take a moment for you to drop a comment, a like, share, and hopefully today's the day I've earned your subscription. Really do appreciate this. For those of you out there who have done this, it's a slow period of time. YouTube is changing their rules and regulations. It's becoming a little harder for those of us here as content creators, especially smaller content creators, to get those numbers up. I've been at it for many years now. This is something that I've always worked on. YouTube I've been on for over 8 years, but I was doing this prior to that on other streaming services and also on public access television back in the 1980s and early 90s. So once again, hit that subscribe. We really do appreciate that. So from the New York Post, paranormal investigator Dan Rivera dies suddenly on Annabelle haunted doll tour. Now, understand the tour hasn't finished yet. It's supposed to hit another state soon. So we need to monitor that. Paranormal investigator died suddenly Sunday night while touring the infamous and supposedly haunted Annabelle doll, his tour organizers have announced. Dan Rivera, a U.S. Army veteran, was in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania on his sold-out Devils on the Run tour when firefighters and medics rushed to his hotel, the Evening Sun reported. CPR was performed, but Rivera, 54, died according to the New England Society for Psychic Research, NESPR, where he was a leading investigator. His exact cause of death remains unclear. By the time this video hits, possibly we might have that. We'll try to update to that point. But as far as right now, it's unclear. Rivera was featured as a paranormal investigator on the Travel Channel's Most Haunted Places and served as a producer for a number of other shows, including Netflix's 28 Days Haunted. As part of his tour, Rivera was traveling around the U.S. with other members of the NESPR to show off Annabelle, the creepy and alleged demonic doll. His death came after finishing a 3-day sold-out stop in Gettysburg from Friday through Sunday, hosted by Ghostly Image of Gettysburg Tours at the Soldiers National Orphans, the NESPR said Monday. Rivera, who survived by his wife Sarah and 4 children, used social media, including viral TikToks, to bring international attention to the tour. Fellow paranormal investigator Ryan Burrell paid tribute to Rivera. I've had so many amazing memories with this guy. Just recently, as 2 months ago, we traveled around the country and introduced a whole new generation to Ed and Lorraine Warren's legacy, he wrote on TikTok. Annabelle, a Raggedy Ann doll, was tied to a series of supposed hauntings in the 1970s after being given to a Connecticut nursing student named Donna. Ed and Lorraine Warren, the famous paranormal investigators, claimed that the doll physically lifted its own arms, allowing people around the apartment, and would display other frightening and malicious behavior. The couple also claimed Annabelle had stabbed a police officer and caused a crash involving a priest. A psychic medium claimed that the doll was inhabited by the spirit of a dead 6-year-old child called Annabelle, and the Warrens said it was demonically possessed and moved the doll to their museum in Connecticut. The Warrens, who founded NESPAR in 1952, investigated a number of mysterious cases, including the Amityville Horror House on Long Island and the Annabelle doll. Their story inspired The Conjuring, the highest-grossing horror movie series worldwide. After Ed's death in 2006, followed by Lorraine's death in 2019, the Warrens Occult Museum and NESPAR had been maintained in Connecticut by their daughter Judy and son-in-law Tony Spira. In 2019, the museum closed to the public over zoning issues, and in recent years they have toured around the U.S. instead. Back in mid-May, the conspiracy theorists tried to link Annabelle to a prison breakout and devastating fire in Louisiana, pointing to the timing of the doll's tour stop in New Orleans. But Spira stamped out the speculation, telling the Post that Annabelle was never out of our control during the pit stop in the Big Easy. Well, however you want to put it, however you want to believe it, there are people who believe that this doll is demonically possessed. It basically, in fact, from what I understand, because I heard this tour before with the Louisiana story, that there is a priest who is basically with them at all times. Now, supposedly, Dan Rivera was involved in constructing the touring box with this priest, that it's similar to the box that houses Annabelle at the museum. Of course, that means somebody has to take it out of its original box and put it in the secondary box for touring. Now, like I said, take it with a grain of salt, because I know a lot of people out there, they're paranormal believers, that this could have been, that this could have been the evil of the doll itself, the curse of itself, in the situation, or just basically coincidental.
I believe in coincidences. Coincidences happen every day. But I don't trust coincidences.
Now, whether you believe it or not, this is just a strange coincidences that have happened. The story of the Annabelle doll itself, and and the Warren situations of what they've been through in their lives, and the strange stories. Like Amityville Horror happens to be another one to that point. What happened in that home? What's the truth about that home? Was it really truly haunted? You hear these stories on a constant basis. But what I want to hear from you is drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Do you believe this? Do you believe that this is part of the evil of the doll itself? That basically, that maybe it was responsible for the death of Dan? Could have been, or just coincidence in itself? How about the situation in Louisiana? Do you believe that as well? So drop that comment, like, share, and hopefully today's the day I've earned your subscription. So until next time, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye now.